So let's get ready for our first session. I'll share with you the basics of how a session typically goes. I'll give you some tips to get your environment ready. You'll find me pretty flexible, so if there's something that maybe you can't manage, let me take on the challenge and I'll find a solution. So first of all, I prefer working through Zoom. Zoom's become really popular during lockdown and most clients have got some experience with it. It's pretty reliable too. Please install, update and test Zoom in advance. It's available for Windows, Apple and for smartphones. If it's something you need help setting up, please let me know in advance and I'll do what I can. Now, before our session, I'll email you a Zoom link and you click on that and we'll get connected. Please try to connect 5 minutes before the session so that we can start on time. I do record all sessions. This is partly for insurance reasons, partly because I use these recordings for my own self-reflection so that I can continually improve my process. Everything between us though will remain strictly confidential unless I believe that you're not of sound mind and that you're in danger of immediate harm to yourself or to others. Now, I might share the content of our sessions with my peers, but never in a way that you'll be personally identified. As we get started, you're welcome to use a computer, phone or tablet, but I definitely recommend switching the notifications off and having your device plugged in so that it doesn't run out of power. You don't really need to see my face as long as you can hear me and as long as I can see you. I'll be happy to answer any questions which you might have, and at this point you're very welcome, if you'd like, to share some of the basic details about your issue, but that's entirely optional. Share only what you're comfortable to share. Before we begin, we're going to get you physically comfortable. So maybe go to the toilet, maybe take a sip of water. Our first session can be between an hour and 2.5 hours, so I definitely recommend that you choose somewhere comfortable to lay down rather than sit up. If at any time during our session you're physically uncomfortable, if I notice, I'll just suggest that you readjust, or you can just move yourself. It's good if I can see your face and your hands when we get started, but once you're in a deep trance and your eyes are closed, I only really need to see your hands. If you are sitting in a chair, what I tend to do, I tend to rest a couple of cushions on my lap so that my hands are more visible, like this. Something like that. The reason I like to see your hands is when you go into a deep trance, you'll be so relaxed, you might feel too lazy to speak. So we'll communicate with little finger twitches like this. Like this. Yes, no, yes, no. Please be aware of the lighting in your room too. Because that first session can take a few hours, it could be dark when you emerge, so towards the end I might start to struggle to see your fingers. And if that is likely to happen, let's just start with the light on. Unfortunately, technology isn't perfect. There could be times when the internet disconnects. Maybe the quality of the connection makes it hard to hear particular words, or a random notification beeps. If you can turn off the notifications, that'll be great. If I hear any, I'll just gently instruct you to ignore them. Last week I worked with somebody who got a phone call during the middle of the session, and I just suggested that she press the cancel button and we just continued. Although I can take you very deep, you'll always be conscious. It'll perhaps just feel like a very pleasant nap. And should anything that happen that needs your attention, you'll just be able to wake up and deal with it. Whatever needs handling, really. And then we can just return and continue. Occasionally, you might not hear every word which I say. It rarely matters. You'll always just be able to speak up and say, please say that again. And in rare occasions, I might ask you to speak to me. I might do the same. So here's what tends to happen. I'll take you into a deep trance. Once you're there, I'll leave you to rest, and I'm speaking then directly with your superconscious mind. And I'll be talking about you in the third person. The conversation might go something like this. Superconscious mind, are you aware of this client's issues? Yes. Is this something that needs to be healed emotionally? Yes. Can you do that now? Yes. Thank you. Please do this and let me know when it's been done. And it really can be as simple as this. Now, there might be a lot of questions and answers. There might be occasions where the superconscious isn't actually able to help, and then we kind of negotiate and find a solution. If it's appropriate, we'll do regressions, inner child work, Gestalt therapy. Every experience is different, but I won't emerge you until the superconscious tells me that your issue's been addressed. As you emerge, I'll be working with your superconscious to install what we call trigger words. You can use these at any time to return to this deep state of trance. And once you're able to do this, you can do self-hypnosis yourself, and it will also mean that all of our follow-up sessions will be much, much faster, as we can get you back into this state within a few sessions. As I emerge you, I'll suggest to your superconscious that you emerge feeling grounded and able to continue your day. If you can though, I do recommend just taking it easy. You've likely gone through quite an emotional process, and that can continue to play out for the next few days. Sometimes clients ask me, is it possible to share the recordings with them? I no longer do this. The main reason is there's really no need to relive the experience consciously, and as you won't be speaking much anyway in those recordings, there's really very little to see. I'll check in on you the next day, and then maybe a few times after, just to ensure that nothing further comes up. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. If there's anything I didn't cover, just let me know.